Hello everyone, welcome back to the Luxe Ledger series. In this series, we talk about the pulse behind the headlines. We try and peel back the layers of the top stories within the luxury sector. This video is going to be a little bit different. We're going to talk about something that has caught our attention, that is something that's going to be big in news in the coming days. But at the same time, we're going to discuss it more in terms of a case study rather than just an update. Today, we're going to talk about VF Corporation, which owns all the brands that you can see on your screen right now. And specifically, we're going to discuss its brand Supreme. So VF Corporation has annual sales of 11 billion and it owns brands like Vans, Timberland, and North Face. But what we know is that VF Corp has hired Goldman Sachs and it's reviewing its portfolio and it's looking for potential buyers for Supreme. To give you a bit of background, VF Corp bought Supreme back in 2020 for $2.1 billion. It bought it from the private equity giant Carlyle, which had invested in the business at around $1 billion valuation back in 2017. Given this, what we understand about VF Corp is that VF is a major portfolio player within the fashion sector, and it is very active in terms of what brand it acquires, what it keeps, and what it spins off, especially the brands which no longer fits its vision. For example, brands like Lee and Wrangler back in 2019, buying Supreme in 2020, and now in 2024 looking to sell Supreme. Supreme, as you all know, is one of the streetwear brands, which is also known as the Chanel of streetwear. It was already riding high when VF Corp acquired it. It was collaborating left and right with everybody. This particular collaboration that you can see on your screen right now with Louis Vuitton came to be called as modern collectibles, which kind of gave Supreme the valuation that VF Corp actually paid for it. So, what went wrong? That is what we're trying to understand. What went wrong? Even when VF Corp had acquired Supreme, then also there were cracks showing in the walls. How? We know that S&P downgraded VF Corp from A to A minus over the Supreme acquisition, mainly because of the debt that it acquired for the acquisition. And also, we had various analysts kind of giving their take on what the acquisition would lead to in the future. There were positives and negatives all around. Specifically, New York Times did an article wherein it called Supreme the Chanel of streetwear, and it asked whether Supreme can stay cool while going corporate. So did Supreme stay cool? Now, Supreme was built on the principle of scarcity. It's part of what made Supreme so special to its core consumers. And even when, and Supreme did this even when one of the most exclusive brands within the luxury sectors were trying to expand, they were trying to grow, and with various venues, for example, through merchandise, through geographical expansion. So Supreme was a brand which was kind of built on the scarcity of drops. And let's come to VF Corp. Now, once VF Corp acquired Supreme, it already acquired Supreme at a very high valuation, but at the same time, there was very little runway for VF Corp to kind of take Supreme further within the short term at least. On top of that, in 2023, Supreme reported decreased revenue in the financial year in March 2023, and it reported a revenue of just 523 million against a projection of 600 million by VF Corp. Given this background, let's try and understand what went wrong. If we try and look at it from two sides, let's look at it from the VF Corp side. VF Corp bought it at very high valuation, especially when Supreme's brand equity was already stretching thin, and also this acquisition loaded VF Corp with a lot of debt. Supreme, on the other hand, had edged too far from what actually made it cool, and it had already drifted apart from its core consumers. On top of that, both VF Corp and Supreme had very different business models. This is what we have analyzed till now and what we can share with you till now. We will follow the story as it evolves, and we'll see as to what particular brand or what particular private equity client is going to be acquiring Supreme further. So do stay tuned in for more news on this. And in the meantime, do connect with me on pallavisehgal.com. Thank you.